The majority of billionaires created their wealth through property. Let me show you how. I apologize for the chicken noises in the background. I blame the chickens. There they are. This video is a bit of a longer one, so you're welcome to fast forward it, or if you're not keen for a long form discussion, just scroll on. So here it is, a simple representation of how property does its magic. So we buy a property for 100. You can get a loan from the bank for 70. So you owe the bank 70. To complete this transaction and pay what's due, you need 30 from an investor or yourself if you're putting the money in yourself. So on day one, you've got a zero net asset value on a property. You have 100, but you owe 100. Currently in South Africa, we buy properties at a 12% yield. That means over the next year, I will have this property produce 12% or 12. Our bank interest on that, we're getting prime -1, so we will owe the bank in interest payments of 7.5. That gives us a nice tidy profit of 4.5. What happens with that profit? Well, for now, we're just putting it back into the bank. So at the end of year one, we have a bank loan of 66. Okay. We've got let's say a 10-year lease with 6% escalators. 6% is quite low in South Africa. We've got some properties that have it at 12. That means after another year, this property will produce 12.7 in year two. If I've got a property that produces 12.7 at my same purchase yield of 12%, it means my property value has increased with 6. So we've put all our profit and cash flow back into the bond, so we couldn't pay back our investors in year one. We still owe them that, so our net asset value is now 10. So we took 30 and we produced 10 worth of value in 1 year. But that's not where it stops. This continues going. Because we paid off our bond a little bit more, we're now not paying 7.5 anymore, we're now paying 7. This means our profit has shot up quite nicely to 5.7. Okay, now let's just do that all again. We have our 6% escalators, we go to 13.5. We paid down our bond even more with the additional profit, so now it is 60 that we owe the bank. And we still can't afford to pay back our investor yet, but our property value has appreciated. We're now at 112. Our 10 has increased to 22. All right, that's looking very healthy so far. Now there's some more exponential gains happening here. So now we owe the bank even less interest because we've paid down all the way down to 60. Our profit is now at a very healthy 7.1. And with another 6% escalation on that, we'll be at 119. Using the profit of 7, we can pay down our debt to 53, and we still owe our investor 30. Our net asset value has climbed all the way to 36. All right, so that's generally the growth of wealth. But now I haven't paid my investor back yet. How do I do that? So we do that through something called a refinance. This is basically where you tell the bank, listen, you're willing to lend 70% on a property's value. I've paid down my bond very healthily. My property's worth 119. I want another 70% bond. So then they'll go like, well, let's check it out. They send out the independent valuers, check the leases, are they happy? If they're happy, they're like, yes, we agree. Your property is worth 119, and we will lend 70% of that. So we'll lend you 83. So if we owe them 53 now, and they say they will lend us 83, that means there's a delta of 30 of cash. We take that 30 of cash, we use it to pay back our investors. Our net asset value stays the same at 36. We just used bank debt to settle our investor debt, so nothing there changed. And our investor got back all their money. Now, that's a very nice cycle. But we've got this 36. We run this scenario again for another 3 years. And then all the cash that you get through that, you can pay out as dividends. Generally, we split this 36, 60% to our investor, 40% to us. Each one of these things you can go in depth in incredible detail. They're all industries in their own, and each one can throw a spanner in the works that causes this thing not to pan out. Like recently, if you bought pre-COVID or during COVID at very low interest rates are a lot higher. You're not going to be able to refinance. There's a lot that can go wrong in this. That's why it's so important to make sure that you've got the right team on your side, so that when the shit inevitably hits the fan, that you know how to pilot through it and get to the other side with the value creation that's inherent in this awesome model. So that's the theory on how property creates value over time. It's an incredible engine to have on your side. I'm not telling you to go buy property and it will make you money. I'm saying if done right, it can make you money. That's a very big difference.